Okay, this is the mortgage worksheet that asks about every possible question there is about a mortgage. And so I want to walk you through the step-by-step process in filling this out. Hopefully you've tried it on your own, and now you can watch and see if your answers were correct. So there's a lot of information at the top. Tom has a gross monthly income of $4,200. He makes monthly payments on a car of $275 and on a boat of $134. He wants to purchase a home that costs $145,000. The bank requires a down payment of 15% and he must pay 2 points during closing. The taxes and insurance on the home are $180 per month. The bank offers a 30-year mortgage at 5.5% and additional closing costs are $2,140. Find the amount of the down payment. Now this is probably the easiest question on the worksheet here. We have a 50% down payment and the house price is $145,000. So I need 15% of $145,000, which works out to be $21,750. Part B, how much must be financed to the bank? Another way to ask that is then how much does he have to borrow? Well, if the house is $145,000 and he's making a down payment of $21,750, that's going to leave $123,250 to finance. Find the amount required by the bank to cover the 2 points. Well, in mortgage speak, a point is 1% of the loan amount, and it's basically done to buy down the interest rate. So another way to look at it is prepaid interest. So if 1 point is 1% of the loan amount, 2 points make up 2% of the loan amount. So it's not 2% of $145,000, it's 2% of $123,250. The loan amount, not the cost of the house. So that's $24,665. D, how much money must Tom have to pay the bank at closing? Well, when you arrive at closing on a house, there's 3 things you're required to pay. One is the down payment. So you have to bring $21,750. You've also got to bring the money for any points that you're purchasing, so $24,665. And in addition, you've got to pay any other closing costs, for instance, appraisal fees, inspection fees, lawyer fees, etc. And in this problem, that adds up to $21,440. So the 3 of those things added together gives us $26,355. So Tom would need a check for that amount at closing. So all 4 of those problems kind of run together. They use the previous answer to get the next one. And now we kind of change direction here. It says determine Tom's adjusted monthly income. Your book defines adjusted monthly income as your gross monthly income minus any payments you have on cars, boats, etc. That have at least 10 months remaining or more. So this does not include utilities. That stuff doesn't count. It's totally things you have payments on: cars, boats, furniture, anything along that line. So the second sentence up here says he makes monthly payments on a car of $275 and on a boat of $134. I did not specify, and I should have, that these payments are supposed to be at least 10 months remaining. So if I want his adjusted monthly income, I take the $4,200 gross monthly income and subtract off the $275 and the $134, which brings us to $3,791. Letter F, what is the maximum total monthly payment Tom can afford for a new home? Now different banks use different rules, but I'm going to use the 28% rule because that's what your book discusses. Your book says that the maximum monthly mortgage payment of principal and interest and taxes and insurance can't be more than 28% of your adjusted monthly income. So I need to know what is 28% of $3,791. It ends up being $1,061.48. So the bank says that's the most Tom can afford for a total monthly mortgage payment. Part G says, what's the maximum monthly principal and interest payment Tom can afford? Okay, so this is the total, but $180 worth of that are going to be going each month toward taxes and insurance. It's the rest of the payment that will go towards principal and interest. So if you want to know just principal and interest, how much can he afford, we need to subtract out the taxes and the insurance. So minus 180, we get 881.48. Now, part H, what is the monthly principal and interest payment on this home? Okay, so Tom's scenario, he's borrowing $123,250. He's got a 30-year mortgage at 5.5%. So the way we're going to determine the principal and interest payment is by the use of another chart that's in your book in this section. This is just a copy of that chart. Monthly principal and interest payment per $1,000 of mortgage. So this is similar to the APR table, except the APR table used $100 of installment loan. This is going to use $1,000 of mortgage. So the first thing I need to know is how many $1,000 increments he's borrowing. So we take the $123,250, divide it by 1,000. That'll give me the number of $1,000 increments. And then I'm going to multiply it by the proper number on the chart. This particular loan was at 5.5% interest rate, and it was for 30 years. So 5.5 and 30 years meet at 5.68. So I add 5.68 into here, and so I'm going to multiply the number of $1,000 increments times the amount each one of those $1,000 increments cost. So divide it by 1,000, multiply by 5.68, and get 700.06. That's just principal and interest. So in part I, when we're asked what's the total monthly payment on this home, we need to add in the taxes and insurance. So 700.06 plus the $180 gives us 880.06. And so now we come to the important question: will Tom qualify for the mortgage? Why or why not? Well, according to our earlier work, the maximum total monthly payment Tom can afford is $1,061.48. This particular house is going to require a total monthly payment of $880.06. So the question is this going to meet the requirements? Yes. So he will qualify for the mortgage. Why? Because letter I is less than our answer to letter F. Now you want the ugly truth of the matter here. That's what K and L show us. What is the interest paid on this home at the end of 30 years? Well, interest, you're going to deal with just the principal and interest payment. That's where we had 706 cents each month is what they're paying. 700.06 is the monthly payment times 30 years and 12 times each one of those years. That gives us the total of his payments. If we subtract out the financed amount of $123,250, that's the principal, and also add in our points because they are prepaid interest, we will get the proper answer here. Putting all that in the calculator, we get $131,236.60 is the total amount of interest, which is almost as much as the house originally cost. And lastly, part L, what is the total cost of the home at the end of the loan, not including taxes and insurance? Well, again, we got 700.06 times 30 times 12, because that's how many total payments we're making. We also paid points of $24.65, and we paid closing cost of $21.40, and we paid a down payment of $21,750. So add all that together, we get $278,376.60, the total cost of the home, not counting taxes and insurance.